Unit 7 is going to be about polynomial operations. Think of the word polynomial has the prefix poly. That's going to be, in math terms, an expression with multiple terms. And so when we're doing operations with them, this unit's going to be learning how to add them, subtract them, multiply them, divide them, that kind of thing. So 7.1 is pretty simple. It's just adding and subtracting polynomials. Directions simply say to perform the operation. So your job is to look between the parentheses and say, okay, I'm adding these. I'm not having to FOIL because they're not touching. So then the parentheses really aren't doing anything. So I'm going to go ahead and take the terms out of parentheses. And so it's just negative 8x squared plus 3 plus x squared plus 3x minus 8. My job is simply to put like terms together, and you want to put it in standard form. Standard form is where you start with the biggest exponent. So we want our squared terms. So it'd be negative 8 plus 1 would be negative 7x squared. Then we want our x terms. That'd be a positive 3x. And then we want to put our 3 minus 8 together, and that would be minus 5. That's all we can do because we have no more like terms. Right, number 2 is the same setup, except we have subtraction here. And when you're subtracting, there's really a -1 that's hiding here that needs to get distributed. So I go ahead and I turn this into an addition problem as well, but I distribute this -1 so that it changes all of these. So it's 4x squared minus 6x plus 1, and then a minus 5x squared, a minus 8x, and a minus 6 is really what you're doing. So if any of these would have been a negative and I distribute a -1 to them, they would have became positive. They just changed signs. Okay, and then we're doing what we did on number 1. We're just combining. So I'd have 4x squared minus 5x squared is -1x squared. Negative 6 minus 8 is -14x. And then 1 minus 6 is -5. And that would be my final answer. And the only other thing you might see is wording for these problems. It says subtract this, which is a polynomial, from this. So I want to ask you something. If I say subtract 2 from 10, that's going to go 10 minus 2. I'm subtracting 2 or taking 2 from 10. Think about like a tug of war, somebody taking from them. So this order switches up. So I'm actually taking this away from this, or this comes first and then this, so the order switches. So this would be negative 8x squared plus 8x minus 10 minus this, negative 9x squared plus 4x. I have to distribute the -1. So that'd be a positive 9x squared minus 4x. And then that would be negative 8 plus 9 would be positive 1x squared. And then I have 8 minus 4 would be positive 4x minus 10. Would be my answer. The order has to go this way, or otherwise you're going to end up with a totally different answer because the signs will be opposite.